I'll be quiet.
I don't know that that's true. All right.
Top of the morning to you.
Top of the morning to you. Good morning, Facebook world. I'm working on a brand new interface here. I don't know what your Facebook looks like, so if you're watching me and I have a confused look on my face, I'm genuinely trying to understand the new kind of Facebook I'm working with here. Don't you love how they change things up and mix things up? If you hear a little coffee brewing in the background, that's my lovely wife. She's just getting a little Keurig brew happening right now before we settle into the daily devotional. We're going to wait just a minute like we normally do in order to just give people time to get on and view, watch. Obviously, many people will watch this after it's all said and done. But hey, great to have you with us this morning. I'm actually looking to see, I don't know where to even look right now to see where people are. But hey, all is good. Here's a couple fun things for you. If you're tuning in to daily devotionals, yesterday was Sunday. And if you happen to be online watching a church service yesterday, something that's really cool is that you were a part of a historic moment. Literally in the history of the world, there's never been a larger day for church online in the history of humanity than yesterday. And that's a pretty significant moment and one of those kind of watershed pieces to just say that you were a part of. It's pretty awesome. What's up? Come on, Chicago. I see you. Armin is on right now, and we met through an online video game. I think it was Marvel. I can't remember the name of it, but bro, good to see you. I know we've never actually talked in person, but it's great to have you here this morning. Here's what's happening. We're going to be in John chapter 13 today. John 13 verse 3. And here's where we are. We're talking about leadership this morning. We're talking about the heart of great leadership and what that looks like in the midst of COVID-19. It's important for us to remember that we still need to lead and we need to become great leaders, we need to grow in our leadership. And so in John 13, Jesus models to us what the heart of leadership looks like. So turn to John 13, verse 3. We're just going to read a few verses. This is before Jesus is crucified. He's gathering with his disciples more or less for one final time. And it says this, John 13, verse 3. Jesus knew that the Father had given everything into his hands, that he had come from God and that he was going back to God. So he got up from supper, laid aside his outer clothing, took a towel, and tied it around himself. Next, he poured water into a basin and began to wash his disciples' feet and to dry them with the towel tied around him. He came to Simon Peter, who asked him, "Lord, are you going to wash my feet?" Jesus answered him, "What I'm doing you don't realize now, but afterward you will understand." Now, this is probably an unusual passage to read in the context of social distancing right now. Jesus is modeling to his disciples what great leadership looks like, and he does so by washing his disciples' feet. If you read, that line by line, so to speak, and you think that the only way to be a great leader is to wash someone's feet, then you're missing some of the principle and the underlying heart of this. Jesus is showing his disciples. He's modeling to them that great leaders know how to serve. And that's what ultimately Jesus came to do. He came to serve his people. The crazy thing is that Jesus is fully aware of who he is. He's the Son of God. He's the King of Kings. He's the Prince of Peace. He is the fullness of God and the fullness of God's deity. And yet here he is, taking off his outer robes, setting them aside, getting a towel, and washing his disciples' feet. Which, by the way, in case you forgot, it's not like they were walking around in a nice pair of Nikes or Adidas or whatever your pick of shoe is. Their feet would have been disgusting and filthy. And here Jesus is showing what it looks like to sweat it out and to literally serve his people. This is crazy leadership from God himself. And so here we take away a few principles this morning on what it looks like to serve well and to lead well. A couple thoughts for you. Number one, a few qualities about great leadership as it pertains to serving. Let me get I need a drink here for a second. Also, rocking my nice little Atlanta mug today. Do you ever notice, and this is a rabbit trail, but you have like a whole cabinet full of coffee mugs, but you only drink from 2 of them? Like we are trying to work through all of our mugs since we're just stuck here. We're working through all those coffee mugs right now. Okay, great leadership does this. It puts others ahead of their own agenda. That's what a great leader does. Whether you're a pastor watching, whether you own a business, rather than profit, rather than size, rather than wealth, et cetera, even notoriety, the greatest leaders put people in front of the agenda. People become first. And Jesus shows that time and time and time again. Jesus was never obsessed with position. Great leaders don't seek to secure their position. They seek to serve and support their people. That goes hand in hand with the first point. How many times have we been, or you've been, or whoever's watching, you've been obsessed with the title that comes with leadership, as if somehow the title is what gives you validation, or the title is somehow what God has for you. That who cares? Who cares what the title says? Who cares what the desk plaque says? Let your heart really be moving on behalf of people and serve them. Walk in kindness, love them well, put them first. People will love your leadership and be drawn to you when they know that you love them and care for them. Thirdly, Jesus is motivated by love. And confession time. If all of your religious activity, if all the religious things that you're doing don't produce a greater love for people, then it's just activity. It's not actually doing anything inside of you. If it's not producing a greater love for God and a greater love for others, then it's literally just activity. But true gospel activity produces a deeper love for people in your heart, and that has not always been the case for me. This is my own confession moment. There have been times in my own leadership where the agenda, the thing that we want to see built, the machine that has taken the front seat over people at times. And it's not that we intentionally try to do this. You just have to have moments where you get in the scriptures and you're prayerful and you're seeking God and you allow him to just continually renew your mind and renew your heart and remind you what it really means to love others and to put them first. Obviously, after God himself. But we have to be motivated by love for others. And that's not always easy to do. You got to fight for that. Got to get yourself anchored in God's presence. So practical takeaways for you today. Try to keep this, into the 10-minute range. How can you serve your community right now, the people around you, people in your home, especially in self-quarantine or mandatory quarantine? Some of you are just in really unique spots. How do we serve one another? It's not like you're going to go across the street and wash somebody's feet right now. Here's what I want to encourage you to do. I want you to reach out to people. I want you to actually pick up your phone and use it as a phone, because right now we don't ever use it as that. Call somebody. We started this group. Some friends of ours started a group called Caremongering here in Kennesaw. I think I've mentioned it in one of my other daily devotionals, and it's really picked up speed. And someone literally just yesterday just said, "Hey, I'm lonely. I need to talk to somebody." And they're stuck in their home. And what does it look like to put aside your own agenda and to literally pass out your digits to a stranger who's just in need of somebody to talk to. This is what it means to love others. Maybe it's not a stranger, but it's somebody else that you could call and just check in on and actually talk to them. Pray for those who are afraid. And when I say pray, I mean actually pray. Don't say you're going to pray. Pray for them. Pray for them on your computer. Pray for them, in a text message. Type out the prayer. Call them and pray for them. Doing what's right, even when it's hard. Can I just acknowledge business owners that are watching today? Some of you have had to take some really hard steps in recent days. Whether you own, whether you're serving people food as a restaurateur or coffee or whatever it might look like. Can I just say thank you? If you've had to shut your doors, if you've had to lock up for a time, I just want you to know that by putting other people's safety first and your concern for them first, you're showing what great leadership looks like. And I just want you to hear me say thank you. I'm thankful for what you're doing right now, and we know it's not easy. We don't know what it looks like for you personally, but we're thankful for your actions right now. There are other times where you're going to have to, whether you own a business or not, where you got to make some decisions that are hard. But because you love other people well, you're willing to do it. Maybe you got kids at your house and you just need to put your device down. You need to shut your computer screen for me. That's hard for me at times right now. But shut it all down and just spend some time with your kids. Play a game. School at home. Let's just acknowledge the fact that it's madness right now, okay? Homeschooling, when you weren't planning to be a homeschooler, can be a little bit crazy. And you know what? Sometimes you just got to put the lesson down and not focus on getting through it, but just acknowledging where your kids are, loving them well, leading them through this. This is weird, it's unusual, and it's hard for them, I promise. By the way, that also goes for your spouse. Here's two last things for practical ways to serve one another. Some of you might be on tough times right now or heading into it, and I acknowledge that. If maybe that's not you right now or it's not you yet, one of the things that still seems to be operating in pretty decent capacity is Amazon and the mail itself. And so two things I want to just encourage you to do. If you got a couple bucks, why don't you spend $10 this week and just send somebody a gift that means a lot to you. Doesn't have to be anything significant, just a little something where you just invest $10 and you have it shipped to their house, and it goes a long way in somebody feeling valued, and you've served them in such a way where you're making them feel great. That's a way to love people and put others first and be thoughtful and kind at a time right now where many of us can't even leave our home. Same thing goes with writing a letter. Some of you haven't penned a letter in years, right? Guess what? Now couldn't be a more perfect time to do it. Set aside the time and write a note, write a letter, and let somebody know what they mean to you and what their life means to you. It goes a long way. Guys, the heart of great leadership is great service. Be a great servant. Walk like Jesus. Let's change the world, and you can do it literally even when you are practicing social distancing. All righty, love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow, Tuesday, 7:30 right here. Talk to you.